Alright, a very common question I get asked from people who are new to WordPress is, what is the difference between a post and a page? When do I use a post and when do I use a page? Now, a very easy way for me to explain this concept is to think of posts as articles that you can share online. Okay, articles that encourage some sort of conversation with people who are reading your content. So say, for example, you traveled to Brazil and you wanted to write about your experience. You would typically use a post for that. One, because people can ask you questions, people can make comments on your articles. And second, people can actually share your content online. Whenever you visit Facebook or Twitter or any other form of social media, whenever you see articles being shared there, those are usually posts. Okay, posts encourage conversation, they encourage sharing online. Pages, on the other hand, is for content that is static. Okay, content that doesn't necessarily encourage any sort of conversation, content that people should know, and that's about it. No questions, nothing of the sort. A very good example would be an About Me page, where you can simply describe who you are and why you have your website. That's it. Or you could also have pages for your privacy policy, your terms and conditions. Pages that are meant to be static, content that's meant to be static, you would typically use pages for that. Now, a good example of what I'm talking about is this website, Peri Peri Chef. This was a site I built for a client of mine a while ago. As you can see, she has a page where she talks about herself, why she loves cooking, and so on and so forth. You would typically use a page for this. Okay, this is for a page. But now, if you come down to her blog, as you can see, this is a recipe for grilled peri peri wings. Sounds delicious. But anyway, now this is where she talks about how she made this this dish, and at the end you can see there is a section for writing comments. So typically for articles like this you would use posts, but for static pages you would use pages for them. Now, a good example, another good website for you to visit is this website right here, WP Beginners, and we'll post the link for you. You can actually read more about the difference between posts and pages. If you're still having any questions, feel free to hit me up and I will be sure to answer your questions. Thank you. Okay, let's talk about how to add posts and pages. So in order to add a new post, it's very easy. Just come to the Posts tab right here. Click on Add New. And from here, you can add the title of your post. And this box right here will be the content area. So here I'm just going to type Test Post 1. That will be the title and just some text. Or better still, let me just show you what we typically do whenever we build websites. So when we don't have content, we typically use lorem ipsum. Lorem ipsum is kind of like dummy text, just to fill in posts and pages. Okay, it's just dummy text. It allows you to see how your website will look like with some content. So I'm on this website right here, and I'm just going to copy some text. I'm just going to copy this right here. Just copy that. Come back down here, right click and then paste. So we have text, and I can easily just click on publish right now. Okay, I can either do that or I can save as a draft, which means I can basically save it. It won't get published, but I can always come back and make some changes and then publish it eventually. Or I can click on preview. Preview allows you to take a look at what the post is going to look like before you publish. So this looks good. So I'm just going to close that. I'm going to click on publish. So it's published, and you can click on the view post link right here. And as you can see, we have our test post and we have our dummy text. You have just created a new post. Creating pages is the same thing basically. All you need to do is come down to pages, click on add new. And here I'm going to type test page 1. I'm just going to right click and paste the same dummy text down here. And it's the same thing. You can save as a draft, or you can preview it before publishing, but I'm just going to publish it right now. Okay, it's all published. I can click on the view page right here. And as you can see, we have our test page. So that's basically how to create new posts and pages. It's very, very straightforward. So in the coming lessons, I'm going to show you how you can now properly format content, how you can add images, how you can create categories, create tags, how you can add videos. So join me as we go on to the next class. Thank you. Alright, now in this class we're going to talk a little bit more about how to manipulate posts and pages. Okay, I'm going to show you some cool tricks. So if you click on your posts tab, down here you can see all the posts that have been created. You can see the author and the categories as well, and you can see the dates when these posts were published. Now if I click on quick edit down here, there are a couple of things I can do. First of all, I can actually change the date this post was published. I can go back and say 2nd of February, maybe make it the 14th of February 2013. It's Valentine's Day, and I can change the time as well. Alright, I can do that. I can also change the category down here. I can allow comments, and I can allow pings as well. Now allowing pings simply means, say for example, this test post one is a very awesome post, and it contains lots of information, and one other blogger from another website decided to link his website to my post. Okay, maybe he added the link on his website that points to this particular post. When anyone does that, you would receive a ping. So a ping is like notifying you that someone else has decided to add a link pointing to your post on their own website. So whether or not to allow pings is something I am not really concerned with, to be honest, because some people say allowing pings helps with SEO, others say it doesn't, and Google always changes their requirements for good SEO. So honestly, I personally am indifferent towards it. I usually don't allow pings, but you can allow pings, so it's really up to you. Now down here, there's a box here that says make this post sticky. Now what this means is that usually by default, WordPress will display on your front page, WordPress will display the first 10 posts, okay? Then the 11th post, or rather the first 10 posts, will be published. Now whenever you publish an 11th post, the very first post that you published will be moved on to another page. Okay, you would not see that post on the front page anymore. Now if you want a particular post to always appear on the front page no matter what happens, then you will click on this box right here and make it sticky, which means it will always pop up on your front page no matter what happens. No matter how many posts you publish, it will always show up on your front page. So there's a couple of things I can do. If I click cancel, and let me click on edit itself, the button down here, I can change the status from published. I can change it down to pending review and to draft. Now draft simply means that I can come back and make changes to this post before publishing it. Pending review simply means if I had an editor, okay, someone who actually runs through my post to make sure that it's, the content is good, there are no grammatical errors. Pending review is a way of telling the editor that, okay, I finished writing my post, now I want you to edit the post before publishing it. Okay, that's what pending review is for. Now visibility, click on edit, and now you have 3 options. You can either make it public, password protected, or private. Public generally means, well, anyone can read your post, anyone can view your post. And of course, this is the sticky option that we spoke about earlier. Password protected means that before anyone can actually view your post, they will have to key in a password to protect your post. It's something that is rarely used, and I doubt you will ever need to use it, but in case you want to have the option of having only select people who can view your post, you can choose this option, and down here you would simply type in the password that you want people to use to view the post. Now private is a little bit different from password protected. Private means that only people who are administrators or editors would have access to your post. which means if there are other people who are writing posts on this website, they will not be able to view your particular post unless they are either an administrator or an editor. We're basically talking about user accounts here, people whom you can make as admins, editors, contributors, subscribers, or authors. We'll talk more about this a little bit later in the course. You will understand better what I'm referring to down here. But public is usually the way to go, so I'm just going to click on update. And the same applies for pages as well. You click on the all pages tab, and down here you have some pages that I've created. And it's pretty much the same thing. You can click on quick edit and you can change the parent, you can change the order in which the page will be published, the status as well, pending review draft. You can add your password, you can change the date in which the page was published. So that's pretty much a couple of things that you can do. Over here as well, you have published, which will give you the number of pages that have been published. And down here you have trash, and from here you can actually completely delete any content that you've trashed. Simply click on this bar right here and click on delete permanently. And the same thing applies to posts as well. You can do the same thing. So posts and pages pretty much have the same options over and over again. So this has just been a simple way of a class to show you how you can manipulate posts and pages. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. And until the next class, take good care of yourself. I will see you soon. Alright, now that we've added our content, it's time to format it. I'm going to show you how you can make changes to your content. The very first thing you need to pay attention to is these two boxes right here. You have visual and you have text. Now if I click on text, I can see my content displayed in a different format. And if you look closely, you will see things like P, align, justify. You may see things like this. Okay, these in HTML is what we refer to as tags. Now, if you're familiar with HTML, you will definitely know what this is. If you're not familiar with HTML, well, for now, just ignore it and stick with the visual format. Okay, so first things first, this is the editor bars right here. In case you're not seeing the second line right here, what you need to do is to click on the toolbar toggle, the toggle toolbar button right here, which is at the very end. Click on that and this other line will appear. Now this is just like Microsoft Word. You can make text bold, you can make it italic, you can change the color, you can do all sorts of things like that. So let's play around a little bit. Let me just make this bold. Click on the bold button. This is bold now. Let's make this italic. Okay, and I can even change the color right here to red. I can do all sorts of things like this. I can even add a hyperlink as well. Coming down here, I can add my URL and then simply take whether I want it to open in a new window or in a new tab, and simply click on the add link button. Now, unlike in Microsoft Word where you can change the font size, in WordPress we have something slightly different. You can't change the font sizes with pixels. We can change it though with the formats that we have right here. As you can see, we have a paragraph heading. We have a paragraph, we have a heading 1, 2, 3, 4, down to 6, and then we have pre-formatted. The one thing to keep in mind is that the paragraph font size is typically what will be the normal size for your text, while your heading 1 will be the biggest, your heading 2 will be slightly smaller than the heading 1, heading 3 will be slightly smaller than heading 2, and so on and so forth. So let's make this heading 1. Headers are usually used for titles and subtitles. So I'm just going to change this to heading 1. And as you can see, unfortunately, everything is now in heading 1. So what you need to do is, let me just undo this by coming down here. I'm going to undo this. Something to keep in mind is whenever you want to make a piece of text a header, what you need to do is to make sure that that piece of text is on its own separate line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here, I'm going to click on enter. Now we have this on its own separate line, and I'm going to click on the header 1 tag now. Okay, so now this is now in header 1. I'm just remove all the space here. Okay, so now we have our H1 tag. So from here, let us preview the changes. Let's see what it looks like. Okay, as you can see right now, we have our colored text. We have our text that is bold. We have our text that's been underlined, and we have, of course, our H1 tag as well. Something else that we can also do is to insert a read more tag. I'm sure you must have seen on websites and blog posts where you see things like click here to read more or click here to learn more. By default, WordPress has that feature as well, and in order to do that, you can simply click on this button right here, the insert read more tag. It's the one just before the toggle toolbar button. So I'm going to click add that, and now we have our read more tag. Now let's see how that's going to look like. One thing you should also bear in mind is that whenever you're previewing changes, you're going to see the full post. You're going to see all the full content. So the read more tags will not be displayed. That's one thing you should keep in mind. In order to see how your read more tag looks like, you need to go to your home page. So I'm just going to click on my blog right here, and now as you can see, I have the continue reading tag right here, and when I click on that, and now I have access to the full document. Further down this course, I'm going to show you how you can actually customize your own read more button so that you can add your own kind of text that you wanted to display. So that's pretty much all you need to know about adding and formatting text. It's also the same thing for pages as well, so you can feel free to play around with pages as well. You can change the color, underline text, make text bold. It's more or less the same thing. And also, again, you can also align text to the left or to the right. Everything is pretty much here for you to play around with. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next class. Let's talk about how to add media to your WordPress content. Now, the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on where I want the image to appear. Okay, we're going to click it. We're going to add an image right now. I can choose to either add it right here or add it to the beginning of the content. So I'm just going to click on the add media button right here, and you can either choose to add images that you already have in your library, or you can choose to upload some. So I'm just going to click on the upload files button right here, click on select files, and I'm going to click on this Batman image that I saved earlier. I'm a huge Batman fan, so bear with me. I hope you are a Batman fan too. Now right here there are several options. You can choose to align the image to the left, to the center, or to the right, or choose no alignment. You can either choose to link it to a custom URL, to a page, or even choose to unlink it. I typically prefer to unlink my images that I add into content on WordPress, so that whenever anyone clicks on the image, nothing happens basically. And of course the size as well. You can choose a thumbnail size, a medium size, or a full size. Now you would notice that the sizes have already been predetermined by WordPress. So thumbnail is 150 by 150, medium is 219 by 300, and full size is 620 by 851. Now I will show you how you can actually choose what the thumbnail size should be, and what the full size should be, and also what the medium size should be. I will show you how you can do that later on, but for now let's just go with the medium size, and I'm gonna click insert into post. You can also make changes here, so you can add a caption if you want to. You can add the title or the alternate text as well if you want to, but I'm just gonna click on insert into post. Oh, sorry, I'll just remove this. So even if you click on the image right here, you can also make some more changes right here. You can choose to align it to the right, to the left, or whatever you want to do. So I'm just going to click on update, and let's see how that's going to look like. I'm going to click on view post, and here we have the Batman image just beside the text. Okay, and that's basically how to add images to your content. One other thing to keep in mind is you can also add something called a featured image. The featured image is actually the main image representing the blog post itself. It's the one that will be the biggest and the one that will stand out from the other images. So in order to do that, I'm going to click on the set featured image right here. Okay, click on that, And I'm just going to choose this one right here, and then I'm going to set this as a featured image. I'm going to update that. So let's view the post. And as you can see, we have the featured image right here, which is the big image that stands out from the others. And this is, of course, the Batman image. This is the main image for the blog post. Further along the course, I will show you how you can actually make changes to your theme. Your theme determines how the featured image will be displayed. Some themes will prefer to show the featured image directly below the title of the post, while most themes actually will show the featured image first and then the title and then the content. But in the more advanced classes, I will show you how you can actually make changes to your WordPress theme to display content the way you want your content to be displayed. But for now, that's basically how to add images and how to add media files to your posts. And it's, again, just like how to add content, it's the same thing with pages as well. If you come down to pages, just click on edit this page, and the same thing, you can choose to add your media. You also have your featured image right here, so it's basically the same thing just as you have in a post. So I hope you enjoyed this class. I invite you to join me in the next class where we'll talk about how to embed YouTube videos. Thank you for watching. Tags in its simplest form are keywords that can allow users on your website to search for posts or information. Let's say, for example, as you can see on my test post here, let's just imagine this was a post about Batman. My tag right here could be, I could simply type in Batman right here. As you can see, that's the tag box. I can type Batman and I can simply click on add. Now, what this does is that whenever anyone goes to my search box right here and types Batman and presses enter, every post that has a tag of Batman attached to it will show up in the results. This is the most important thing about tags. Tags simply allow users to search for information on your website. Now, it's also very advisable that you use tags because Google and other search engines, whenever they're calling for information on websites, they typically look for keywords and tags. So it will be a very good idea for you to constantly use tags whenever you are writing or whenever you're creating new posts. However, be sure not to add too many tags. Okay, usually you could add between 2 to 5 tags will be just fine. Do not over add tags on your posts. It will not be effective at all. So poor tagging practice will do your site no good and may even have a detrimental impact. So the key is to tag sparingly and efficiently. Use between 2 to 5 keywords and make sure those keywords are actually relevant to your post. So that's about it all about tags. Join me in the next class where we'll talk about categories. Tags in its simplest form are keywords that can allow users on your website to search for posts or information. Let's say, for example, as you can see on my test post here, let's just imagine this was a post about Batman. My tag right here could be, I could simply type in Batman right here. As you can see, that's the tag box. I can type Batman and I can simply click on add. Now, what this does is that whenever anyone goes to my search box right here and types Batman and presses enter, every post that has a tag of Batman attached to it will show up in the results. This is the most important thing about tags. Tags simply allow users to search for information on your website. Now, it's also very advisable that you use tags because Google and other search engines, whenever they're calling for information on websites, they typically look for keywords and tags. So it will be a very good idea for you to constantly use tags whenever you are writing or whenever you're creating new posts. However, be sure not to add too many tags. Okay, usually you could add between 2 to 5 tags will be just fine. Do not over add tags on your posts. It will not be effective at all. So poor tagging practice will do your site no good and may even have a detrimental impact. So the key is to tag sparingly and efficiently. Use between 2 to 5 keywords and make sure those keywords are actually relevant to your post. So that's about it all about tags. Join me in the next class where we talk about categories. Permalinks refer to how the URL of your pages and posts will be displayed on the address bar. Now, if you check on the address bar of your website or of your post, you may see something that looks like this: $P equals to 46. This is, by the way, I'm inside the post right now. So if you're on the home page, which is here, simply click on any of your posts links and it will take you to the post page. So as you can see, I have a $P equals to 46. 46 is the ID of the post, of this test post 1. The problem with having your URL structure like this is that Google will find it very difficult to search for your posts to crawl your website, and indeed other search engines will find it very difficult to index your information. So for SEO purposes, it's always a very good idea to change the default permalink structure of your WordPress site. Now, in order to do that, simply go to your backend, go to settings, and then click on permalinks right here. Now from permalinks, you have the default, which is this. You can choose to come down here to post name, click on save changes. Let's come down here and let's click refresh. This probably, okay, yeah, this is working actually. So now this looks a lot better. We have our URL for our website, and then we have the post name attached to the end. This is a lot better than the default structure. However, my absolute favorite way of structuring the permalinks in WordPress is to add the category as well. Now, in order to do that, click on the custom structure, and I'm going to change this right now to just change this. Oh, I actually have it down here already. So this is it. So you have your /% category, %/ post name %. This is the absolute best way to categorize, or rather to structure your permalinks, okay, because this would help Google to search for your information very easily, because right now you're displaying the category as well as the posts in that category. It makes your website look very structured and very neat as well. So I'm just going to click on save changes. Let's come back down here. Remember that this post was under the superheroes category, so when I refresh, we should see superheroes in the URL. Oops, sorry, I'm gonna have to close this. Just go back to posts. Click on posts. Okay, now let's see. I'm gonna click on view from here right now, and voila! Now we have our superheroes, and we have the category, the post name rather, sorry, to the end of the URL. So this is the best way for your permalink structure to be configured. You have your website's domain name, then you have the category, and then you have the post name at the end. This is the best way to structure your permalink. Okay, let's talk about how to embed YouTube videos onto your content. The very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create some space where we can add the video. Just going to click enter right here, and I'm going to go down to YouTube, and I already have this video populated already. As you can probably tell already, I'm a huge Batman fan. I hope you are too as well. So this is the trailer for the movie coming out next year. It's a movie that I'm really looking forward to. So let me just make sure this is actually working. Okay, it's the video. Okay, so just wanted to make sure that the video is actually working. Okay, so I'm going to click on the share button right here. In order to embed, I'm going to click on the share button, and from here you can see you have share, embed, email. Click on embed. Okay, click on embed, and now you have this code that's literally been provided for you to copy. I'm simply going to right click on copy, go back to the content area, and then paste it. However, one thing to bear in mind is that before you can post any piece of content that has some code attached to it, you need to change from visual to text. Okay, make sure you always do that. Click on text right now, and from here I can create a new line, and then paste the video right here. That's how you want to do it. Do not paste it in visual. If you paste it in visual, the code will be ignored. You will not view the video. So if you go back to visual right now, you can see the box has already been created for the video. So let's see if it worked or not. I'm going to click on update the post, and come on. Okay, I'm going to click on view post. Let's go down to the bottom, and boom, if we click on play, we have the video, and as you can see, it's working, it's running, it's working. Pretty interesting, right? Now the video isn't occupying the full length of the full width rather of the page. We can change that. If you click on edit post, let's go back, you can actually change the code. Let's click on text. I'm just gonna click on text again. Now from here you can see the width is 560 pixels, the height is 315. Let's change this. We can change this to 660, for example. We can also change this to 415 if we wanted to. Let's go update that and click on the view post again. So the video should be bigger right now. As you can see, it's a lot bigger right now. The height has increased, the width has increased as well, and the video still works. So that's basically how to add how to embed YouTube videos onto your WordPress site. I hope you enjoyed this class rather. Join me in the next class where I'll show you how to embed Google Maps into your content. Thank you for watching. Okay, let's talk about how to embed a Google Map in your page. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new page, and I'm going to name that contact page. Just going to publish that right now, and I'm just click on the view page, and well, there's nothing in it obviously. So we're going to embed a Google Map right here on this page. So I'm going to open a new tab, and let's embed the map for the White House. Okay, White House address. Okay, we have the address right here. Just go down to Google Maps. Google Maps. Okay, click on this. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this address. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to paste it in the search bar right here. Paste, and then click enter. Okay, and now we have the map right here. Now in order to embed this, I'm going to click on the gear button down here to the right. I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to click on share or embed map. Now here I'm going to click on the embed map, and just like in your YouTube video, we have a piece of code that you can simply copy. I'm going to come down here, I'm going to click on the edit page, and just like when we wanted to embed a YouTube video, make sure it's on the text, not visual. Right click, paste. If we click on visual, you'll have the box that's been created for the map. I'm going to click on update, and now let's click on the view page and let's see our map in action. And there you have it. That's it. You have your map right here, and again, you can also make changes to how you want the map to look like, the length or the height. I click on the text right here, I can change from 450, I can change this to 850, I can change this to 400 instead. I'll give it an odd look. Let's update that. Let's view the page, and there you go. The height has increased but the width has reduced. So that's basically how to embed a Google Map onto your content. As you can see, it was as easy as having a cup of tea. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next class. Okay, let's talk about how to create menus in your WordPress website. Now, just to show you something, on my pages I already have a couple of pages that I've created already. I have the about page, I have the contact page, and I have the test page 1. So if you don't have these pages yet, you can go ahead and create them, or you can create some other pages that you want. And under categories, I have my superheroes category and uncategorized. The reason why I'm showing you this is because we are going to add these items to our menu. So in order to do that, I'm going to go down to Appearance, click on the Menus tab, and now we can create a new menu. First, I'm going to give it a name, and it's going to be main menu. I'm going to create menu right now. And now here you have to constantly set this to the primary menu. Whenever you change your themes as well, be sure that you come back to your menus page and make sure that your primary menu is always ticked. This is what will indicate. This is what will show your primary menu actually. This one right here is simply will add every new page that you create into the menu. I typically don't want to do this. I prefer to add my pages manually, because there are times when you might create a new page and you don't want it to show up on your main menu. So avoid clicking this if that's the case. You also have a social links menu. This is something I'm not really used to. This is because of we're using a WordPress 2015 theme. That's why you have this option. Some other themes may not provide you this option. Some other themes will provide you the option of showing the menu at the footer as well. So just take note. The different themes have different kinds of menus that you can show. So in order to add pages, I'm simply going to come here and take all these 3. Then I'm going to click on Add to Menu. And now categories, I can come down here. I can add the superheroes category as well. I can add that. And now for custom links, you can add a custom link to any website, to any post, to anything basically, and then simply add a text that you want to use to represent that link, and then simply click on the Add to Menu. So right now I'm going to click on Save Menu. I'm going to come back here. I'm going to go to my home page, and now let's see. And as you can see, this is our menu right here to the left. We have the About, Contact, Test Page 1, Superheroes. I can change the order simply by dragging. I can take this up, I can drag this down, and then simply come back and click on Save Menu. Go back to the home page, refresh, and as you can see, the order has been changed. So just before I go, I want to show you something else. As I mentioned earlier, if I come down to Appearance and then click on Themes, let's change the theme for now. Let me go down to, let's see, 2013. Let's try 2013. Okay, we'll come back here. Let me refresh this page. Now, as you can see, we have About, Contact, Test Page 1, but we don't have the Superheroes tab. The primary menu we created is not showing up, and that's because if I come back to my menu, you can see that this menu right down here, it's not checked. The theme location is not checked right here. Navigation menu, it's not checked. You need to check that. Sometimes it's either the navigation menu or the primary menu. It all depends on the theme. So you need to check this and then click on Save Menu. Come back down here, refresh. And now you can see the Superheroes tab is now appearing. So the more you get familiar with working with themes, the more you will easily be able to identify what you need to tick in order for your primary menu to be shown on your website. So that's all for now. Thank you for watching, and of course, if you have any questions, feel free to send me a message. And until the next class, take care. Alright, let's talk about the Settings tab on your WordPress backend. The Settings tab is more like your control panel in your computer system. It's where you can make major changes to your WordPress site. You can change the language of a WordPress site. You can change how people make comments, and you can change a whole bunch of things. So without further ado, let's get started. I'm going to click on the Settings tab right here, and we have the general settings. As you can see, you can change your site's title if you wanted to. You can change the tagline. You can change the default email address that WordPress would use to normally send you notifications. You can take this box right here to allow anyone to be able to register on your WordPress site if you wanted to. you have the new user default role. From subscriber, you can change this to author or administrator, depending on whatever you want. So whenever you have a new user who has a profile on your WordPress site, WordPress would automatically assign this role right here to the user. You can change the time zone as well if you wanted to. You can change the date format, the time format. You can change when the week starts, whether it's on a Monday or on a Sunday, depending on what you want. And of course, you can change your site language from English to, I don't know, Russian, I think. Yeah, Ruski. Or Italian, whatever, wherever you're from, you can change your language to your own style. Now, on the writing tab, this is one place I rarely ever touch because I hardly ever have any use for any of the options right here. So, but then again, this is something you can play around with. You can change the default post category from uncategorized to superheroes or whatever category that you've created. You can change the default post format. Again, this is something I recommend that you do not touch. Just leave it on standard. There are other options here available, but let's just leave that on standard. Post via email, these are things I don't touch, so we're not going to talk much about that at all. Now, reading, this is where you can make some other changes. You can change how you want your front page to look like. Right now, our front page is simply pulling in the latest posts that we have. We have test post 1, and we have hello world, which was the default post that WordPress created. And of course, if you've created other posts, you should see those posts being displayed on your front page. However, what if we wanted our front page to consist of a static page that hardly ever changes? This is where we will change that. So front page displays a static page. From here, you can choose the front page to either be a contact or test page 1. If I click on this right now and I save the changes, let me come down here and refresh my page. And as you can see, it's the test page now that is showing on my home page. But let me just change this back to latest posts. Oh, by the way, if you take this for your static page, you can also change where you want your posts to show up in. So whenever the person clicks on that particular page, all your posts will be populated on that page. Excuse me. But let's just leave that on your latest post. Blog pages show at most 10 posts. You can change how many posts you want to be displayed per page, from 10 to 5 to 100. Depends on what you want. Same thing as well. Syndication feeds show the most recent 10 items or 9 items. These are things that you can play around with. And of course, for each article in the feed, you can either show the full text or show the summary of the article. However, this is something I've noticed in WordPress. WordPress typically ignores the summary. Okay, if you don't have any insert or read more tag on your WordPress post, WordPress will typically show the full length of the posts on your blog pages. So this is something to bear in mind. WordPress sometimes ignores this option. I think maybe it's some sort of bug or something. And of course, search engine visibility. You can discourage search engines from indexing the site, but I highly recommend that you don't do that. Just leave this box unchecked. Now, discussion, this is where you can choose to have people comment on your blog posts or not. You can, let's see, where is it? Okay, now, for example, over here, you can allow people to post comments on new articles. If I uncheck this, for example, people will no longer be able to make comments on my WordPress posts. And of course, comment author must fill out name and email. This is, of course, always recommended to fight spam. You can make other changes here. Users must be registered and logged into comments if you want them to. You can change all sorts of things right here. It all depends on how you want your WordPress blog site to function. And of course, you can choose to be emailed whenever anyone posts a new comment or whenever a comment is held for moderation. And before a comment appears, comment must be manually approved, or comment author must have had a previously approved comment. These are things that you can play around with to your style and to your taste. Now, media, this is where you can change the default settings for your custom image sizes. Now remember, let's go back to a post. And I'm just quickly show you what I'm trying to explain here. Now let's edit this. Now let me add some new media. So say, for example, I wanted to add this image. As you can see down here, we have thumbnail size, we have the medium size, and we have the full size, which is typically large size as well. coming down here, this is where you can change the settings that will affect how big or how small your images will be inserted into your blog posts. As you can see right here, there is a max width of 1024 pixels by 1024 pixels. So if you uploaded an image that is, let's say, 3000 pixels by 3000 pixels, and you wanted to insert that image into a blog post, when inserting it, if you said you want the large size, this is the maximum width and height that WordPress would allow the image to be displayed at. And of course, you can change the ratios if you wanted to. Same thing with medium size as well. And of course, the thumbnail size, which is 150 by 150, which is pretty much the standard for your thumbnail size. Further down the course, we will examine how we can create our own custom image sizes. So instead of having a thumbnail size, medium size, we can have something like superhero size, or my custom image size, or whatever. We can choose to create our own custom image sizes that will have specific ratios that WordPress will use to crop the images that are uploaded. And of course, permalinks is something that we've already talked about, so I'm not going to spend time there. So that's basically an introduction to the settings tab. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me and I will be sure to answer your questions. Thank you.